The goal is to see whales, so that would be amazing, but I ain't gonna be swimming with no whales, I will tell you that right now. It is Sunday, April 11th, 2021, and on this week's edition of Sunday Sofatime, I'm gonna tell you all about my upcoming cruise. You know, the date. Sometimes I get it right, sometimes I don't get it right, but there's worse things I could do, right? In last week's Sunday Sofatime, I got the date wrong again, and I know that most of you know this, but I don't film Sofatime on Sunday because I want to get it online on Sunday. So like, for instance, today I'm filming it on Friday, so I can edit it today and don't have to sit in front of my computer for several hours on Saturday, and then it'll be online. And also, because this has to do with travel plans that are now signed, sealed, and delivered, I'm going to be uploading it to Patreon first, because one of the things I enjoy with the people who sign up to patreon.com/veryunofficial is that I like to tell them things a little bit earlier. It's kind of like having secrets. So if you enjoy finding out about these things earlier and also want to give me a little bit of support, then check that out. I don't like that this thing is right in the middle of my head, but I'm not gonna move this all around now. It has not been that long since I was cruising. I know, I'm very lucky, I'm very grateful. I say it over and over and over again. There's still people who show up in the comments to tell me I should be more grateful, but I am how I am. And as I mentioned in a recent video, I now have access to like the sort of more exclusive booking sites. These are kind of like sites that are only available for travel agents and things like that. I got accredited as a travel professional, as somebody who does what I do. And on top of that, I also have a friend who works for the cruise line I'm cruising with coming up. Of course, I'm not just gonna come right out and tell you the name. And so that also helped me get a little bit of a discount on this cruise. I'm gonna tell you how much it would cost just to book it normally, and as always, I can't tell you how much I paid, but the normal price, if I were to book it just on the normal website, would have been for me as a solo traveler in a balcony cabin, including flights, 1,090 euros, which actually not a bad price whatsoever. That's less than 1,300 US dollars, I would say, for a week of cruising, including flights in a balcony cabin, as a solo traveler. And as far as I'm concerned, these deals can just keep on coming. Like I said, I paid a little bit less than this. I can't tell you what I paid for it, but I'm gonna go through all the excursions that I've booked already, and I can tell you what those cost. My birthday's coming up next Friday, April 16th. Definitely got that date right. And I thought it would be fun to do something interesting on or around my birthday. I'm gonna basically be celebrating my birthday alone this year anyways. I mean, I can't invite anybody over, or I could invite one person over, or I could, you know, it's not like I can go out or anything. We're still locked down here. And even though I know, or I knew that Marcus wouldn't be able to join me for this trip, I just thought, okay, I'm just gonna see what's available around my birthday. And the options were MSC Grandiosa again, same tour I did in October, Mindshift 1 or 2 again, same tour I just did a couple weeks ago. Then there was the Nico. What was the name of the ship again? I can't remember right now. Nico is mostly a river cruise company, but they do have a 1 or 2 small sort of like oversized yacht cruise ships. Interesting possibility, but in the end, I decided against it just because they're not only new in the ocean cruise business, or relatively new, but they are just starting up again. And I just didn't feel, I thought it'd be better to wait, but still on the horizon someplace. And the final option is the other really popular German cruise line, AIDA. And I know that so many of you, if you've cruised a couple times, you've definitely seen and noticed an AIDA ship in a port, because they're the ones with the big red kissy lips on the front. Sound familiar? And I have cruised with AIDA before. There's a whole playlist on my channel. And in addition to the cruise I did, I also got to tour one of their ships couple years ago, and that's because I know people who work for this cruise line. I mean, like friends of mine who I knew even before they worked for the cruise line now work for this company. Anyways, that's not important, but surprise, surprise, the cruise that I've chosen is on the very cool looking AIDAperla ship, It's a ship that I actually saw just a couple weeks ago because it was parked next to us, or it was docked next to us on my last day of my most recent cruise. And I was surprised because it looked like a really big ship, but I pulled up a list of, you know, like the 50 biggest cruise ships, and it's pretty much towards the bottom. It's like as big as like the Celebrity Equinox or the Carnival Dream, that size. But when I looked at it, I thought, okay, it's gotta be at least as big as like Freedom of the Seas. It's not though. I have to be completely honest, I don't know a whole lot about what the ship looks like inside or what's on the top deck. I know they have at least one water slide because I saw it, and I know it has the AIDA trademark, like sort of 360-degree like musical theater in the middle of the ship. But other than that, I don't know a whole lot about it, and I'm not really looking with a lot of detail at it because I want to be surprised. That doesn't mean I won't be reading the fine print in all the booking information. I don't want to be surprised about what forms I need when I get to the airport. Been there, done that, and it was not cute. So my birthday's on the 16th and my flight leaves on the 17th. I'm flying from Hamburg to Dusseldorf, Dusseldorf to Las Palmas. Very similar to my last cruise, except we stopped in Munich. Just like on the last cruise, it's a chartered flight. Everybody who is on this flight is going to the cruise. And the itinerary is similar and different to the last cruise I did. There's also something interesting with my cabin, and I've already booked probably all of my excursions, and I'm gonna go through all of that right after a short commercial break. Did you get one? What was it about? Write it in the comments below. Okay, we're back, and where do I have the itinerary here? Not on this page. Okay, I got it here now. So we leave the port at 10 o'clock in the evening, actually, on the 17th, which gives plenty of time to explore the ship on the first day. That's gonna be great. Then the second day is a sea day, and the third day we are on La Palma, which is an island that I have never been to before. We did not visit that on my last cruise. And I think this is one of the, if not the smallest of the Canary Islands. And the itinerary I chose for that day, or not the itinerary, the excursion I chose for that day, I'm positive that this is just like the last cruise I was on, that the only way you're allowed to leave the ship during the cruise is with an official excursion. So I took one called a hiking tour through the Las Palmas rainforest. Rainforest? Yes, rainforest. And the picture, like in the brochure, makes it really look like it's the jungle. So I'm really looking forward to that, especially after the volcano hiking I did on my last cruise. If you haven't seen that video yet, you know where to find it. Okay, so here's something interesting about this cruise. The next 2 days, we are on the same island of Tenerife. What's unclear to me is if we're staying docked or if we're gonna go out and come back again. I would assume we're probably staying docked. What do you think? I mean, one really great thing about being on a ship that stays in a port overnight is being able to like stay out in the city really late and then, you know, come back and really just use the ship as a hotel. That's obviously not going to be the case on this cruise, but Tenerife is the island where on my most recent cruise, I went to the Loro Park Animal Embassy with the dolphins and orcas and parrots and all that. Really cool experience. That excursion is also being offered by AIDA, but it's like 20 euros more expensive. So the first day on Tenerife on this cruise, which is the 20th of April, I chose another biking tour. Oh, the biking tour. That's the video I just uploaded on today. So for you, a couple days ago, for me today. And I made sure to read the description very carefully, and this is not that hardcore. This is only, I think, 130 meters above sea level, not 450 like the one in the video from Friday. Another thing I'm really excited about with this bike tour is we stop at a beach and get to go swimming for a little bit. Weather permitting, of course, that'll be cool. So the next day in Tenerife, I chose a sailing excursion. It's a whale watching with the catamaran, so that'll be really interesting to me. I know many of you know I'm studying for my my ocean-going vessel license. It's all kind of on hold right now because all the test places are closed. Hashtag lockdown. But that's still a goal I have. I still have all the information here. It's like literally right here. And so it'd be cool to be out on a catamaran. I don't know if we're really gonna sail, but it would be cool if we did. And the goal is to see whales. So that would be amazing, but I ain't gonna be swimming with no whales, I will tell you that right now. The next day, the 22nd, we are on Fuerteventura, which is an island that we did not visit on my last cruise. However, I've been there on vacation 2 or 3 times, at least 3 times, just to stay in a resort and hang out at the beach and go to like tennis camp. This was years before I started making videos, or, you know, I think I might have started making videos, but I just didn't make videos about the places I stayed on Fuerteventura, and I do not have an excursion booked for that day, and it's because they're offering like a 4x4, like, you know, like a 4x4, like a motorized all-terrain vehicle excursion. They're also offering a dune buggy excursion. Both of those expensive. I think the least expensive one is 179 euros, but it just looks really fun. And I'm gonna wait until I get on the ship to ask if I would be allowed to do it with my American driver's license. I don't know why not, but I just wanna be sure before I spend the money, you know? Oh, speaking of money, I told you I was gonna tell you how much these all cost. Let me tell you the final day, and then I'll go through the costs with you. So the final day is the island of Lanzarote. That is where on my last cruise, I was on the volcano and then in the cave. And on this cruise, I'm going to be kayaking. And also something I'm looking forward to, depending on the conditions. Of course, kayaking on the ocean could be kind of hard. Maybe some seasickness happening. We'll see, I guess. So let me just go through the prices here before I forget. So the hiking tour through the rainforest, $79.99. These are all euros. So add, you know, like, I don't know, 10%. To approximate the US dollars. The bike and beach tour is $59.99, so more expensive than the bike tour I did from the video on Friday. The sailing and whale watching is $89.99, and the kayak and snorkeling is $79.99. So something I've noticed is AIDA definitely offered more excursions. However, they're also a little bit more expensive. And it'll just be an interesting comparison to see, you know, what they're like, what the biking tour is like, what the hiking tour is like. And, you know, all together, I'm just really looking forward to comparing, now that I've done 3 cruises with the other German cruise line, My Schiff, just comparing it to AIDA, which has been around for a much longer time. However, the Perla is one of the newest ships. And I want to tell you a little bit about my cabin right after tiny little commercial break. So about my cabin, with this booking system I have, the way it works is you pick like a date, a ship, and an itinerary, and then basically what you do is you say, I would like to join this cruise. There's a couple like different rate options listed. You pick one, say that's sort of the category that I'm willing to be in, and then you're guaranteed to get at least that category, if not better. And then what you do is you send a booking request, and then they review it and then decide if they will like accept it or not. And yeah, I sent my booking request like 3 days ago, 4 days ago, and this morning is when it finally all got cleared up. I did get the confirmation a couple, like probably the next day actually, but there was a problem, and the problem was they forgot to book me on the Hamburg part of the flight. So really odd. You know, of course I could choose what airport I want to fly from, and of course I chose Hamburg, put it all in there, and I actually had a screenshot of it that I knew that I chose Hamburg and all the dates and everything. And then when I got the confirmation, it was like, congratulations, this is we've accepted your booking request. This is your cruise confirmation. Enjoy your flight from Dusseldorf. And I was like, no. Dusseldorf is not, you know, just like right around the corner. That would be, trying to think, like if I compare it to, you know, I grew up in Minnesota. So imagine I booked a cruise with flights from Minneapolis, and then I got the confirmation, and the flights are from Chicago. Not impossible, but definitely not optimal. And here's another thing that I've noticed a very big difference between Mindshift and AIDA already. With Mindshift, if you go to the Mindshift website and start like clicking on things and pretending that you're gonna book a cruise, there's a chat window that will pop up and you can like immediately start chatting with a customer service agent. And it's a little bit different with AIDA. I was on 3 different telephone calls in the last few days. The first time I was on hold for 15 minutes before I hung up. Yesterday I was on hold for 35 minutes before I hung up. And today, 57 minutes before I could talk to somebody. So there's a lot of room for improvement as far as AIDA customer service goes. So finally, today was the first day that I could actually get somebody on the phone to get it taken care of. By the way, I also did write a mail 3 days ago. There's been no answer. And I hadn't paid for the cruise yet because I wanted to get this with the flights taken care of. So the flight got taken care of. I got the new confirmation. It's paid for, and that's why I decided to sit down and do the video now. And I'm surprised to say that I also got, I think, kind of an upgraded cabin. Like I said, I want to be a little bit surprised, so I'm not looking at like all the details, but I pulled up the deck plan and the cabin I have is 9138. And if you look at the other cabins, you know, like the yellow ones and then the green ones right next to them, they're, you know, like this size, and then 9138 is like a little bit longer. So I'm wondering if it's a junior suite or something. I did look at what those little symbols mean, and they mean that it is, that there's, one of them means that the bathroom is separated, so the toilet is in one room and then the washing is in the other room, kind of like on the Disney Dream, which also makes it kind of sound like a junior suite. And the other one means, I think it was that like 5 people can sleep in the cabin or something like that. It does appear, however, that I have kind of a smaller balcony, even though it's on the curve, and it is 1 deck above the promenade deck. So I wonder if that means I'm gonna have a obstructed view. We'll find out. I'm so excited to get there and show it to you, and yeah, I don't know what else I can tell you about it now. Like I said, I leave in a week from tomorrow for me today, but by the time most of you see this, it'll be a week from yesterday. Much dates, so confusion. So if you have any questions about the cruise, of course, you know, write them in the comments below. Since this news story has aired, I haven't been getting, you know, like thousands of new subscribers or anything like that. I wasn't expecting that in the beginning. I know a lot of you were writing, oh, your channel's gonna blow up now. Spoiler alert, it ain't. But there has been an increase in comments, and most of it is just a lot of you, you know, saying, oh, I saw you, congratulations, which I'm very grateful for. Anyways, the reason I'm saying that is if you do write a question on the video and I don't get back to it right away, or maybe not at all, it's just because there's a lot of comments happening right now, and it's hard to keep the overview. But anyways, now comes the time on Sunday Sofatime where I comment on your comments live on air. In last week's Sunday Sofatime, I talked about a very possible upcoming river cruise. One of the few times that a company's gotten in touch with me and actually asked me if I would be interested in, you know, basically cruising at their cost. Of course, I'm very interested. I'm very excited about it. I'm very grateful that it's hopefully going to happen. Some people in the comments think I'm not grateful enough, and I can understand that because in this video last week, I said, I think I'm kind of gonna be bored while on the cruise just because my style of cruising is a little bit different than what I'm assuming they offer. I didn't say I think it's gonna be bad. I just said, I think, you know, I might be kind of at a loss for activities. Many people have been saying that's not the case, and the first comment here is from Heiko Hamburg. Heiko writes, concerning only one restaurant/dining room, when you do a river cruise that stops at, for example, 6 ports in 6 days, you'll have 6 different restaurants, 1 at each port town. Use this option to have lunch at a local restaurant in the port town. You'll be surprised about the variety. And yeah, this is something I I feel so stupid. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I don't have to eat only on the ship. Of course, when you're in port, you can go out and eat in the city. Now, that does, of course, raise the cost of the cruise, but it is an option. And you know, maybe one of the reasons I didn't think of that is just because the way that excursions are at the moment, it's all like a closed bubble field trip and there is no picking your own restaurant. So perhaps things will change by then, or maybe it'll be different on a river cruise anyways. We'll find out. Next comment is from Diane S. Diane writes, "You are gonna be stunned. My experience with river cruising on Avalon and Crystal, ... The food is amazing, the service is superb, and honestly, I was more tired on a river cruise than I ever was on an ocean cruise. The excursions begin early and are so engaging. If I could river cruise soon, I'd be on my way." And you know, first of all, thanks for writing that, Diane. And that's what quite a few people have been saying, that river cruises can be exhausting just because the excursions are so full on. And then just every day you're, you know, walking and walking and walking and seeing all these sights. So it's sounding more and more interesting. The final comment is from Lou Mello, and Lou wrote a very long, very descriptive comment here, which is great. I'm gonna pick part of it in the middle. "You may not have a pool to hang out in, but the top deck is a great place to hang out in the sun with new friends, and they usually have a bar there as well. The top deck is only closed when you're going under bridges, and that's not that often. We did a 15-day Grand European, and I don't recall the top deck being closed hardly at all." So that's one thing I just thinking about. I love when I have time to chill out. I love to chill out at the pool, and I also love to go swimming. You know, of course, I love water slides and things like that. There's nothing like that on a river cruise. Can you imagine? And so Lou is writing about the pool. Another thing that I learned from watching one of Emma's videos is that if you're going under a bridge, or if that part of the cruise has bridges that are low, then the top deck won't even be open. But Lou is writing here that might not be that bad. And that's it for this week's Sofatime. Next week, Sunday Sofatime, I will already be on the ship. So I'm gonna try to get a Sofatime online before I leave, so you all have something to watch. Please forgive me if I don't, because next Friday, like I said, is my birthday, but maybe I'll just do a live chat on my birthday. That'd be fun. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. That's where you'll get the information. And whatever you're doing this weekend, I hope it's great and you stay happy and healthy, and see you soon. Bye-bye.